Hi boys and girls. We're now moving on to 3.5. We're going to be modeling our multiplication problems with arrays. So every time I think of the word ray, I think of the sun, right? The sun has sun rays. But this is array. Can you say that? Array. So that's one more strategy that we can add to our list. We have drawing equal groups, repeated addition, bar model. Now we're adding an array. So you can solve a multiplication problem by drawing an array, and this is what it looks like. So if we had 3 times 4, which we would read this 3 groups of 4, we would make 3 rows, 1, 2, 3, and we would put 4 in each row. So I want you to think about a row going across, kind of like in a farmer's garden, or your garden, you have rows going across. And columns go up and down. Sometimes houses have columns on their upper porch and the columns run down. So I want you to think of rows across like a field, and our plants go across, columns run down. So we have our 3 groups. This is one group, this is another group, this is another group, and we have 4 in each group. So we have to keep drawing until we have 4 per group. And that is an array. And that's another way to show 3 times 4. So right now I'm in your math book. I'm on page 165, and I'm going to be reading about tomatoes. So if you want to follow along with me. Many people grow tomatoes in their gardens. Lee plants 3 rows of tomato plants with 6 plants in each row. How many tomato plants are there? So I'm going to write the numbers that I know. I know that he has 3 rows. And I see the number 6 in there. He has 6 in each row. So this multiplication sentence would be written 3 groups, 3 rows of 6 in each row. Okay, how would I draw that? So we take our 3 and we draw 3 rows with 6 in each row. So when we're making an array, it's very similar to repeated addition because you have 6 plus 6 plus 6. So you can think of it that way too. That's one of our strategies. Or you can count all of your plants in your array. Did you get the product? How many plants does he have? He has 18. We always label the answer whenever we have a word problem. The trick to knowing what to label is going back in the problem right after the words how many, that's going to be your label. So the question asked, how many tomato plants are there? So now I know I have to label it tomato plants. There are 18 tomato plants. Okay, let's try another one together. So now I'm going over, and we're going to be working on page 166 in your math book. And the instructions tell us to use 8 tiles. Make as many different arrays as you can with 8 tiles. Now remember, whenever we're making arrays and we're doing multiplication, we have to have equal groups. So I'm going to erase this. You can pause it if you need to backtrack and write that answer. So now we're going to go on to 8. I only have 8 tiles. So I'm just going to, I can make them circles or squares. Okay, so I have 8 tiles, and I'm going to think, how could I divide 8 up into different equal groups? So I'm thinking of skip counting, and I know that if I skip count by 2s, I would reach 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So I'm wondering if I can make 2 rows. 1, 2. And I'm just going to keep adding to my rows until I get to 8. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have my 2 rows times 4. And that equals 8. Now I can change the order of the factors and still get the same product. This is called the commutative property. That's a big word. Everybody say commutative. I always say that the numbers communicate with each other and they change places. So for the commutative property, it states that I can change the order of these. I can put 4 first as a factor and then 2 and still get the same product of 8. Now this changes the way I read this, doesn't it? Remember, the first number is how many groups. The second number is how many in each group. So I have 4 groups of 2. So now I'm going to make an array this way. 4 groups with 2 in each group. Did we get the same product? Is the commutative property correct that we'll get the same answer? Yes, 2, 4, 6, 8. Now think if there's another way I can arrange these. I know if I would try to skip count by 3s, 3, 6, 9, that's too many. Okay? And we've already skip counted here by 4s, 4, 8. Is there another way I can arrange tiles to make 8 total? Think about it. I was thinking 1 group. Let's try. So 1 group of 8. And so we have 1 group with 8 in each group. So that's one more way that I can make equal groups and draw an array to match that. I also can change the order of these, and I can make 8 rows of 1 in each group. But that would change this a little bit. So let's try that over here. Let's see if we can put it down further. So now let's reverse this. Let's try 8 going down. Let's squeeze this up here. Now we have 8 groups with 1 in each group. So those are the different ways that I can make equal groups using 8 counters. So today when you're solving your problems, drawing an array is something that you'll be able to do, and it's another strategy that you can add to all of your, as I say, tool belt of strategies for when you're solving multiplication. So you'll work on your CAMI assignment, try practicing drawing arrays. You don't always have to use that strategy, but I want you to give it a try today for your lessons. Remember, you always can write in your book and then transfer your answers to CAMI. All right, Sharks, if you have any questions, I'll be there to help you at our 3:20 check-in. Bye.